Have you ever felt really angry after a rough game, or maybe been told to uninstall by a teammate, called obscene names, or personally attacked after winning a hard-fought match? How did it make you feel? What's up, Karizzma crew? This is your captain speaking, and this is the very first episode of Let's Talk, where we discuss topics and experiences as gamers in the gaming world. You can watch the gameplay while I talk, or just have me yapping in your eardrums while you go about your day. Today's topic: how to deal with toxicity in gaming. Now, before we dive into solutions, let's take a moment to understand why toxicity exists in gaming. It's easy to assume that toxic players are just bad people, but the reality is a little more complicated. More often than not, someone being toxic in a video game is a reflection of their own frustrations, personal struggles, and misplaced priorities. That toxic player is putting their entire day, or rather their entire life sometimes, into how they're playing in a particular video game. Let me put it this way. When a person is entirely consumed by their performance in a game, it becomes their whole identity. If they're losing, it feels like their entire world is crumbling, and instead of dealing with that rationally, they lash out at others. As sad as that is, it's the truth. Let me open up about my life and paint a picture for you here. I work a full-time job, and although it's not my dream come true or anything, I'm still happy with my work. I feel fulfilled, I enjoy the people I work with, and after all that, I get to go home and spend time with my wife, who's not just my partner, but also my best friend. Someone I genuinely enjoy spending time with. And then there's my 8-month-old daughter, the light of my life. And after all of that, I still get to use the rest of my free time to play games with friends and make videos and content about things that I'm passionate about. Are there hardships, difficulties, and obstacles along the way? Sure, just like anybody else. That's normal. That's life. So where am I going with all of this? If I lose a game of Marvel Rivals or Halo or whatever, then that just is what it is, you know what I mean? I've got other things going on in my life, a lot more important things. It doesn't mean that I don't care, it doesn't mean that I'm intentionally trying to throw the games that I'm in, but my entire mood isn't dependent on whether I'm gonna do well in a video game. And if you ever do feel like it's getting to you, then honestly, you may need to reevaluate yourself. I think you need to find other things to do, life-wise, because that's just not healthy. And this isn't just a video game thing either. If your whole day is reliant on this one thing, that's just not healthy. So with that out of the way, how about when someone's being nasty and rude to you? This is actually a highly sensitive topic in the gaming world today. There's a lot of back and forth with people having extreme opinions and taking extreme measures. Some people say, quote unquote, bring back bullying, arguing that gamers have gone too soft. Others take extreme measures, like turning off voice and text chat altogether to avoid any potential toxicity. A lot of times I hear people, especially women in gaming, being told to just mute everyone when they face harassment. But is that really a solution? I mean, I've seen firsthand how brutal it can be for women in gaming. The moment they even speak up in voice chat, they're often hit with immediate hostility or uncomfortable advances. As a father, I can't help but wonder, will it be different if my daughter gets into gaming one day? I sure hope so. So what's the right approach then? Look, full transparency, I come from a generation of gamers that played Halo 2 on Xbox Live. And let me tell you, it was the wild, wild west. There was literally no filter whatsoever, especially with proximity chat being so common back then. A lot of people really yearn for that unfiltered experience again, but to be honest, I don't see that ever coming back, mainly for two reasons. First, with the introduction of party chat and Discord, the majority of people have no interest in communicating with people outside of their existing friend circle. But the main thing is that we live in a very politically correct world now. Older generations might call it fragile, but that's just the world we live in. Fragile or not though, in my opinion, people are looking at it the wrong way. It's not about being more filtered or unfiltered, it's about changing your mindset. Just like we discussed at the beginning of this episode, 90% of toxic players are simply a reflection of them putting their entire self-worth into how they perform in a video game. So when some random dude halfway across the world is insulting you and your entire bloodline because you didn't play up to their standards, why take it personally? Why give them that power? Who cares what some random nobody thinks of you and says to you? They're the ones banking their happiness on winning a video game. Instead of dwelling on what some anonymous gamer said about your mom, how about actually calling your mom and telling her you love her? Life's too short to get worked up over what Floppy McSacky69 thinks of you. So why is toxicity so common in gaming? Why do people actually say the things that they do? I think it comes down to one key reason: being anonymous. With esports and competitive gaming on the rise, everyone wants to be the next big thing. They treat every match like it's the finals of a world championship. But unlike traditional sports where conflicts tend to get resolved in person, gaming is mostly online. Unless of course, you're the best of the best and you're competing worldwide. Besides that though, the average Joe is mostly playing online. In real life sports, even in heated moments, there's always a level of mutual respect. You might trash talk a bit in a game of pickup basketball, but it rarely escalates into full-blown insults. But online, that changes. To be quite blunt, most of these toxic players wouldn't have the balls to say what they say to your face without the comfort of being anonymous behind their screen. And you know what? That seems like a nice pipe bomb to end on. At the end of the day, you control your own gaming experience. Don't let toxic players dictate your mood or your enjoyment. Toxicity in gaming isn't going anywhere, but how we deal with it is completely within our own control. And if you ever personally find yourself getting angry or upset because of the game, take a step back and remember that it's just a game. So what are your experiences with toxicity in gaming? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, Superman punch that like button and subscribe for more content. I'll see you guys in the next one.